What is an adapter cord? How do you use it? And what's it used for? Today I'm going to show you how to make your own adapter cord. You're watching Taddy Digest. This is HVAC tips for technicians. I'm Tad. Let's get started. This adapter cord is used in the field to be able to steal power from a disconnect, a breaker box, or maybe even the air conditioner that you're working on. And this is used to provide 110 volt power so that maybe you can use a vacuum pump or a recovery machine. Let's say that you only have a 25-foot extension cord, but the nearest receptacle is 50 foot away. Or maybe it's 200 foot away and you only have 100 foot. Or maybe you left your extension cord at home. This is a great way for you to take that power from a box near you, from a breaker panel, disconnect, or a unit so that you can actually use your vacuum pump. And this will save you time. I'm going to show you the tools and materials I use to make this. Then I'm going to show you how to make it, and then we're going to test it, and I'm going to show you how I use it. Materials I use to make the cheater cord or adapter cord: get a couple clamps, battery clips or clamps. I like the copper ones. Make sure you don't get them too large, otherwise it's going to be hard to open up the jaws. So a couple of these you will need. Then I got a female 110 volt connector or plug. Then I got some black tape. I got 2 insulators. That way, when you do hook this up, you're not touching your bare hands on the connectors. That could shock you. Last but not least, I got some 12 3-wire. And this is known as SJ cord. And you can see it's got a black, a white, and a green wire. So this is exactly what you need. As far as tools, you'll probably need a pair of wire strippers. You're going to need a razor knife, that black tape, and then a flathead and a Phillips screwdriver. Now, before I show you how to use this cheater cord or adapter cord, I'm going to show you how to make it. So we're going to take and loosen up this connector on the plug. That way we can slide our wire in. Then we're going to take these 3 screws where you would plug in your male connector into the female connector. This will allow us to take this piece off. All right, now we're going to set this to the side, and we're going to take our razor knife and we're going to go ahead and strip the coating off of the wire. Now, I want to say that you don't need to strip this too far because we don't really need much to go into the connector, and we don't need much of the wire sticking out, right? So now that we got that stripped, now we're going to take and strip these 3 wires. All right, so there's 1, there's 2, and then there is 3. Now, next part, super simple. You can put some tape around this if you want. I'm not going to. Now I'm going to take and feed that stripped wire ends into this connector. All right, don't tighten it down. Feed it all the way through. And then we're going to land our wires. And you can see that there's a gold-plated screw where the black wire goes, a green screw where the ground green wire goes, and then a silver screw, and this is where the white wire. So silver, white, gold, black, green, green, ground, right? All right, I'm going to land these wires. It's super simple. You may need to take your Phillips screwdriver and loosen these up before you begin. And it looks like we got enough room now. All right, gold first, right? Push that wire in there. Boop. Nice and tight. We're going to go with our white wire next. Well, need to make sure I put that in there. There's our white wire. Nice and tight. And then our last but not least is our ground wire. Get that ground wire in there. Make sure it's nice and tight. A loose connection can cause issues. Now we're just going to take and slide this up here in place. Look, super simple. Look at that. Slide it in place and then screw these screws in to tighten it up. Look at that. So that part is finished. Now we're just going to take and tighten this up so it holds our wire. And if you didn't strip it too long, then you're not going to see, you know, your wires, your stranded wires. See that? That's perfect. After we connected our plug and it's secure, now we're going to take and strip the other side so we can connect our battery clamps or clips. And for this part, I would say at least strip this 6 inches. That way you have a good separation between each clamp and you have good slack, and you can reach the ground lug in the box or ground wire as well as the hot wire. It just makes sense. Now there's something that you may forget to do when you're installing these clamps, and that is you need to install the insulator first, and I'll show you why. So let's get all this off. Get this off here. All right, now here's what we're going to do. We're going to take and put one clamp to the white and green and the other clamp to the black. But before we do that, we have to install our insulator. So slip that insulator over the wire. You can see how it's poking out the other side here. That's a pretty good amount. And then we got our black wire here. That's a pretty good amount. Now for me, I'm going to do just a little bit more. All right, that's a good amount for me. So take and slip that over there. We're going to do one at a time, all right? Now using ring terminals is something I definitely suggest. So use ring terminals if you have ring terminals. Strip your wire. Take and turn a little U. Let's get our clamp. Make sure you put the insulator on first. Unscrew the screw for the clamp and then slip that U underneath the screw like this. All right. And then if you want, you can take and make it long enough so it goes back out, so when you crimp this around the wire that it's holding that wire. I'm not going to do that. I'm not even using ring terminals, but I should be. But as long as I'm admonishing you to do the right thing, to use ring terminals, because ring terminals are going to make it more secure, more professional. Although once you crimp this, it's not coming out. So now I'm just going to take and close this around it. Whoop. Press it down. There, that's not going anywhere. Now I'll take my insulator over it and then look at this. And then you can put some tape right here if you want to keep that insulator on that wire where it's at. That's a good idea. Now we're going to take and strip the other two wires. I'm going to strip those a little bit longer just because we're tying two together. Using the insulator. So put the insulator over these freshly stripped wires here. Then taking those wires, putting them together, and then installing the old ring terminal, just to show you how much more professional it is and how easy it is with that ring terminal, right? So look at that. Oh yeah, that's not going anywhere. Now we loosen up that screw, and we put it right here in place. And then we tighten it up. Using a ring terminal is so much better. Now we close this. Look at that. Oh, yeah. That ain't going nowhere. And that's much better. We can put tape over this if we want. Or we can pull this up to the clamp and then tape this. Now we have an adapter cord. Let's go try it out. Now let me show you how to hook up the adapter cord. Wear gloves. Make sure that you are safe when you're doing this, because anytime you're messing with electricity, it can be harmful. So we can utilize this at the unit or at the disconnect. And if you're using this, you want to make sure the unit doesn't kick on. So if you have to take the wire off of the coil, one side of the coil, the contactor, do that if you're using this at the unit. All right, so we're going to try at the disconnect. So pull the disconnect, pull the cover. Now how do we hook it up? The clamp that goes to the green and the white wire goes to ground. So we're going to hook that to ground. If we can get this on the line side, that would be great. But it looks like it's going to be easier to get to on the load side. So we're going to open it up, put it around that little lug there for the load side. And when we plug in the disconnect, we're going to have power on our plug. So let's test it real quick here. Make sure we got 110, 120. So let's put our meter on volts AC. Let's take our leads and put them inside our plug. What we got? 123. So we got power. So now, say we were at a site and we didn't have 110 volt accessible, but we got a disconnect, a breaker box, or we got the unit. Now we can plug in our vacuum. Check it out. Vacuum, turn it on. We can use that vacuum pump now. Or recovery machine. Turn it on. Lights. Turn the recovery machine on. Be very careful when you are using an adapter cord. I want to stress that in today's video. I just want you to be careful out there. I don't want you to get hurt. And in this career, you can get hurt, especially if you're not paying attention. This has been a video on how to use an adapter, or how to use an adapter cord, how to make an adapter cord, and what it's for. I hope it helps you. If you want an adapter cord, I will put a link right here. Click the link, go buy an adapter cord, or you can visit your local electrical supply place near you, and they've probably got everything you need to be able to make your own adapter cord. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. If you did learn something, let me know what it was down in the comments. You got a question? Questions can lead to new content. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe, and smash that bell. Ding, so you know what I'm doing. You've been watching Taddy Digest. This has been HVAC Tips for Technicians. I'm Tad, and I'll keep you cool if you let me.